A-class shoe for gripping, Festo for pneumatics, the Fanuc robot for our robot arm, Siemens PLC, etc. So yeah, we really choose.
SICK
SICK laser scanner, correct. Very good, Colin. So we really choose, let's say, top of the market components. That's for us.
Welcome to the MTD Podcast. I'm Gio Hamlyn, hosting today's show, a passionate engineer and a very proud member of the MTD team. Today we've got an absolutely fantastic podcast from the MTD studio. Firstly, I'm joined by my colleague and my partner in crime, Colin Griffiths.
Gio, thank you for inviting me, albeit last minute. I wasn't aware of this, so you put me under some pressure. So fortunately, I know quite a bit about Halter CNC, but we're going to put them to the test and find out more about their products in a minute.
Yep, hopefully it's going to be a very educational podcast. Automation is such a big topic at the minute and such an important topic in the UK. We're also joined from Rik Peer from Halter CNC Automation. Welcome to the MTD Podcast.
Thank you very much, Gio.
And Marcus, your second podcast, Marcus Hamlyn from First MTA. Welcome again to the MTD Podcast.
Thank you very much, Gio. Feeling honoured to be here for a second time.
It's great to see you all again. And this podcast, we really want to address and break down barriers to entry to automation, but we also want our audience to find out, one, about the automation solution for people that don't already know about the solution and what USPs and solutions it does offer, but also about the relationship with First MTA and why you've chosen this product to accompany the rest of your product portfolio. So to start off with, Rik, can you kind of tell our audience a little bit about the product range and the history of the company, just to kind of give our listeners a better understanding of how you originated, because it's still a young company.
Yeah, that's true. We are really a young company. We were founded in 2013, had our first system installed in 2013 as well, but we're really well ahead in 2014. And we were founded by Mr. Wouter van Halteren, so our CEO, and he actually had a factory manufacturing CNC lathes and milling machines. It's called Style CNC from the Netherlands. And when he was leading his company, when he sold the company, he got in contact with the CEO of Fastems from Finland. And they got together and discussed the whole automation strategy and where Europe and the Western continent actually was going to. Of course, Fasteners is very well known for their FMS systems, very well known company worldwide, thousands of systems installed. And well, Wouter, my CEO, had this idea that single plug and play CNC machine automation would be the next big thing in a new wave in automation. And actually Fasteners shared this idea. Having said that, they said, well, we'll keep our focus on our systems, of course, but we will be very happy to be your business or your development partner to develop a unique plug and play CNC tending system.
Okay, so if people don't know Halter CNC, the robot, and we can go briefly through the product range, but it's not just Halter products, the well-known products in the background, such as Fanuc, Schunk, and others as well. So that give people comfort that they're buying quality products.
Yeah, you refer to our components that we use in our system, and it's not just the component part. Of course, for us, the collaboration with Fasteners was very important to get a very solid and process secure system in the market. But you're right, the components we use are absolutely A-class. Schunk for gripping, Festo for pneumatics, the Fanuc robot for our robot arm, Siemens PLC, etc. So yeah, we really choose. SICK laser scanner, correct. Very good, Colin. So we really choose, let's say, top of the market components because for us it's fundamental, essential that your automation process is secure.
Rik, one thing that really stands out to me, we've just done a technical corner together. Yeah. Is the software that you've produced yourselves that brings all of them different products together and makes it all sing and dance, if you like. Yeah. Can you tell our audience how important that software is, the Smart Teach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our software is fundamental because the way we build it up, also in collaboration with Fastems again, is that we can modularly expand the programming by adding new fields. For example, if you have an additional application, an additional robot sequence, you can add it to the program very easily. and the operator can, let's say, pick this building brick and put it in his program for the next part. For your understanding, if you make a new program with our software, it will take you up to 2 minutes.
Wow.
You say up to 2 minutes. That's pretty fast going.
Yeah, it is fast going. For us, it's the philosophy is that the setup time needs to be very, very short and able to be able that makes the user it makes it possible to automate small batches. So lean manufacturing, QRM, we all want to be able to automate small batches.
No. You say sorry, Joe. You say about small batches.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there thinking, and I think they're getting over it now. But you're looking at automation, you're thinking it's not going to be cost effective if I'm going big batches. There's no point in me even considering it. Is that a myth?
Now it is.
Yeah.
Now this changed completely.
Yeah. Marcus as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's about educating people that you can now automate small batches, and that if you can generate even 2-3 hours walk away time, then it means that someone who's a valuable component to your business can spend their time more valuably doing more cost effective stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've got skilled engineers. We've got lots of skilled engineers out there. Do they want to be loading a billet all day?
Not really.
No, absolutely not.
Upskilling.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not good use of their time ultimately, and it's boring, isn't it? Loading billets into a machine.
Well, is it boring or is it milling or turning? I'm sorry.
No worries.
Mark, sorry, Rick.
That's a good one, Colin, because we just installed a system for dual machine tending. So first VIA and VMC, and then the robot brings the part to a boring machine and brings it back to the storage.
And I wasn't even fed with that story.
No, exactly.
Boring machine and an exciting machine.
Yeah, brilliant.
Marcus, just want to go back a step, really. You first MTA took on the Halter CNC Automation Agency last year.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Yeah.
Now, this kind of fulfills your product portfolio at First MTA. Can you tell our listeners why you've introduced this automation solution to your product portfolio and about the relationship with Halter CNC Automation?
Well, yeah, I think Halter are an excellent partner for First Machine Tool. I think we've definitely we are the IAMCA agents for the UK, so we've kind of been in the lathe turning automation business for a period of time, or for quite a long period of time, many years. And adding Halter to our portfolio really enables us to offer a complete solution with work holding and offering a complete package, so a customer can come to us and we can supply a complete package and they don't have to buy lots of different things from lots of different people, keeping it simple.
If they're buying one of your machines, then another, I think, people in the back of people's mind and barrier to entry is a cost. Now, I wouldn't expect to give me the cost here, and again, it's going to be application specific. What sort of return on investment, what sort of payback time am I going to get from these?
I think the sort of figure quoted is in the kind of average is about 18-month region. Some people it can be as short as 5-6 months. Some people but generally speaking, I think a huge percentage it is in the kind of 18-month region.
Wow, that's pretty good. Well, that's really good return on investment.
And I think part of that is also to do with the fact that when you do the analysis with the customer in the first place, you've got to identify good automation application. If the application isn't right and they're not going to get the return on investment, then you're not going to recommend a robot for them.
Maybe you'll recommend a bar feed, but that's another story.
Well, you never know, yeah.
Is it about cycle times, though?
It's partly to do with cycle times and how many components you can fit on the system. But it's about looking at a combination of the factors and what the customer's looking to achieve. Do they want to run all the way through the night? If they do, then obviously you need a certain set of circumstances. But a lot of people will, as I said earlier on, get that return even if they can automate for a short period of time.
And where does flexibility come into play?
In terms of the actual sort of moving the robot and
in regards to the actual complete solution, really. I mean, looking to run low volume work, high mix, requires a lot of flexibility. What kind of flexibility does this system offer to your clients?
I think it all leads back to the Halter Smart Control. The speed of programming, that's what generates the flexibility of the system. So if you can if you can have a set of parts programmed, ready, running quickly, then that gives you the flexibility.
So that's simplifying the programming. It's enabling you to program the part extremely quickly. 2 minutes is phenomenal. But what about, for example, the universal solution that you offer in regards to loading different batch sizes, etc.? How does that work?
You mean with the A and B side we have on our grid plate?
Yes.
Exactly, yes. We have our grid plate is actually divided into two. It's rotative, so it's actually the robot that will turn for you the table. So we have a robot side, so hence where the robot will be loading and unloading, tending the CNC machine. And the other side, it's the loading area. So at any given time, the operator has the possibility to open that door and to unload finished products, load up in his new batch. Maybe he needs to change the grid plates. And he can do that at any time given because the CNC machine and the robot will continue working.
Yeah, and also talking along the lines of flexibility, relating to how you can write custom processes. So when they're installing the robot, if you wanted to have a deburring cycle, or if you wanted to have a wash station, or if you wanted to have an equator that you wanted to build into your process, if the robot's got time to do other things whilst the machine is running, that also adds to the flexibility of the solution that isn't necessarily available for plug-and-play solutions in the market.
So you're adding value as well with a solution such as that. Now, just going back one step to the low-volume work and to what you just mentioned with the grid plates and the rotating grid plates. So what you're saying, Rik, is you can actually be loading the components on the other side of the grid while the robot is still feeding the machine so that you haven't got to stop that spindle turning.
Exactly.
Because it's hard to visualise in a podcast, but please watch the technical corners that we have produced and this will give you a clearer illustration. But Colin, you've been quite familiar with this system for a long time.
Is that, in terms of the loading and unloading, is that the same for all? Because there's three different options, milling, turning and universal.
Correct, yeah.
And that's the same for all three options?
Not for the premium mill and turn stacker, but for the big mill and turn stacker it is. So we also have this option that actually the front and back side, so the loading area is separated. So for safety, there's a screen in the middle. And so the operator is completely safe to load and unload finish and raw parts.
What size component? I mean, again, you've got three products in three ranges, so 9 in total, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What size will you go from and to, without going through the whole range?
Oh, good one.
I'll put you under pressure, sorry.
No worries. Let me see if I can defend myself now. Also here we're very flexible.
Yep.
So even if we have, let's say, out of standard measurements and weights, we still can be of help to the client because we have several, again, those special features and applications we can help the client with. Normally we go up to, if we have our big in length, we go up to 800 millimeter long shaft, what we call the long shaft option. Our standard and the premium, the length is up to 250 mil. With the long shaft, we go up to 450 mil. So, and weight-wise, we apply robots with payloads from 12, 25, 35, and 70 kilo.
There you go. And he's doing that without the brochure in front of him, so that's all good.
I mean, that accommodates for 99% of components out in the field, I would assume.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, a huge proportion of the components are not bigger than we're talking about there. The sort of 20 kilos is pretty unusual for someone to be loading 20 kilo parts.
In regards to automation and automating legacy machines and brand new machines, you talk about flexibility. One of the barriers to entry is, that they may have a fear of automating a legacy machine because maybe it might not have many years left. Mm-hmm. What kind of solution have you got for this?
Well, with the Halter system can be re-interfaced on a machine at any time. It's just a case of identifying what's required, whether it needs to be hardwired or whether there's a robot interface available. And it's a very rare case that in fact, I don't think Halter have had any situations where they haven't been able to interface a machine thus far. So there's normally a way to do it.
So you've got longevity in the investment because, for example, you can you move the robot from any machine tool to another machine tool whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly. So also from an investment point of view, automation was always seen as you purchase the automation for a certain product for a certain time span, and then you calculate, okay, does it make sense? For us, nowadays, this is not of importance anymore, because if you change your products or if you change your CNC machine, the Halter system will just move to any other machine or any other product. So,
but part of your sort of sweet spot for your company or for the solution is people buy that and move it between up to 4 machines, so they can be turning one day on a pallet truck, move it to another machine the next day. Simple as that.
Yeah, correctly. Our clients say, we say it takes you up to 45 minutes to replace the Halter system, maybe from a lathe to a 5X. We have several clients who do that, during the week, maybe 2 to 3 times, so they're a bit more experienced than I am, and they tell me they can do it in 25 minutes. So that's approximately the time you need to calculate to move the Halter robot system from one machine to another, depending on where you need the capacity most.
And easy just to it's already, I presume, already set up, easy to integrate, just plug and play, essentially.
Yeah, plug and play, but we do, of course, prepare the CNC machine. And
just going back, any CNC machine, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was going to go on that on Colin's point there. When you say any CNC machine, you're talking turning, milling, standard 3-axis lathe, standard 3-axis mill, but you go up to full simultaneous 5th axis, multitasking machines, turn mills, etc.
Correct. Yeah.
I think anything that the robot arm can reach, where it's going to put the component, it can be installed on it.
And what about the support, the application support? A product is one thing, but support is a completely different scenario.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and this is something that's very important to us. Halter have got their own engineer within the UK. First Machine Tool have got their own engineer.
Are we allowed to mention the engineer that Halter have got?
Sure thing.
Well,
my very appreciated colleague, Steve Price. I think very well-known name in the UK CNC machining industry.
Yeah, the reason I ask is, as I understand it, and it's not from his mouth I hear this, but he is an absolute legend in terms of automation and robotics.
He is. Yeah.
Don't tell him I said that, of course.
Maybe he'll listen to this.
You never know; it might get back to it.
Yeah.
But that's what you. So you got feet on the floor,
yeah,
ready to, if something does go wrong, to yourselves or to First MTA.
Exactly. We've got it together. So Halter CNC and First MTA, our own UK service engineers. Not only that, we also introduced as a standard since the 1st of January our Halter Site Manager. And that's a router that we always include in our system, so that connects the Halter robot system directly with our headquarters. So you can always ring in. So you have within a minute, you have someone on the line who can not only help you, but can look inside the robot to see, maybe you're missing a point, or maybe the robot is missing a point. So have a fast solution.
Wouter, the CEO, is happy to help you with any issues. He'll shoot me for saying
maybe
that.
Maybe not
well.
Wouter.
So Industry 4.0, really, remote access.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now, in the UK, we're renowned for bespoke projects. Really complex components. What kind of solutions do you have readily available for bespoke projects, and can you back your UK clients with any kind of bespoke projects and needs that they may have?
Yeah, 100%. I think if it's possible to robot load a component, generally speaking, we should be able to find a way of doing it. And Halter as a company have a history of doing bespoke projects with customers and meeting their needs.
I would say that at this moment, 90% of our system, of course, our hardware has a certain standard, but 90% of our systems that we deliver are not fully standard anymore. So they either have workpiece-specific grip plates, maybe special parts. We have a new, recently developed milling software where you can tilt your head for gripping difficult-to-grip parts, die-casted parts, etc. So we really see ourselves as partner for our clients. So start, of course, with the part study and then develop.
Right, because I'd obviously mistakenly from that see Halter as more of a off-the-shelf product, but that's 90% is now individual application specific, as Gio was saying.
Turnkey projects.
That's it.
Projects,
yeah, turnkey application specific. So of course our hardware is still a standard, but as the software is freely available for us to build it up modularly. So then we can any project.
So do we get in contact with Halter for that as well, or is that?
Wouter will be very, very happy to take it.
He'll be absolutely fuming.
Yeah, sure.
So would that be contact First MTA or contact you, Rik? Or?
First MTA is absolutely your first partner to contact, and we already did a first project now together where we saw that this combination of work holding and automation is key.
Yeah.
So
there's some great synergy there. I can definitely see the benefits. Can you explain that benefit, really, Marcus?
What the benefit of having?
Yeah, like having the work holding that's opening and closing, and selling the complete solution.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it just makes the customer's experience a lot more seamless. You know, there's not two different companies. You know, if there are troubles to work through when you're doing the installation, as there always are with big projects, you know, there'll always be little teething problems. You haven't got two companies fighting with each other, you know, arguing the toss over whose fault it is. They never argue.
They never blame each other on these sort of projects.
No, never. So I think from that perspective, you know, the customer has one company to lean on, and we will absolutely find a solution for them.
Also for machines to be retrofit, because I would say we're at this moment 60-40, even 60% retrofitting CNC machines, so adding automation to an existing machine. And in this case, a lot of times, if you have your 5-axis machine or maybe 3-4-axis, it doesn't have automatic work holding, then you have your the best solution out of one hand, really.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. And now in the UK now, I believe that the UK market has really started to embrace automation more than it's ever done before. And it's a necessity. They need to if they want to remain competitive, not just in the UK amongst ourselves, but globally. In your opinion, why is it so important that they automate to get that kind of unmanned running that you can offer?
Well, I think it's very important from a perspective of, you know, lead time is so important to people these days that people need components quickly, and a lot of the time you're not able to get that. And certainly, you know, the experiences that we've just had with COVID and with Brexit and deliveries, and, you know, things are just taking longer to get across the sea. So suddenly having something made in Asia isn't necessarily a reliable solution. So making things locally where you can control the lead time more effectively, you know, even if cost isn't necessarily if you can be competitive with cost, then
be competitive.
No, absolutely. Yeah. If we can compete, then I think ultimately that provides a better solution for people in the UK.
I mean, increasing the shifts, for example, running now 24/7 instead of maybe just one shift. Automatically, you're becoming more competitive, reducing costs per part. And future-proofing your business in a way. I mean, material prices are increasing, and it's just becoming more and more competitive day by day.
I would even say securing your employment in the UK as well. It's not just about automating and you know, earning more money and getting your business being more successful. It's also keeping the knowledge of CNC manufacturing inside the UK. So for me, this is one of the big assets. So you have two assets. Your CNC, in my case, the CNC operator and your CNC machine. You really should need to optimize those.
Give me some examples from your experience when introducing automation into a company has actually led to the employees being upskilled.
Quite a few of those, actually. So Mr. Remmertz from Germany, he explained to us that he was starting to outsource his products to, I won't name the name, but an Eastern European country. And he was on the brink to decide, shall I close my factory and only maintain sales, or do I have to rethink my factory and see how I can upgrade my factory to be competitive international? He had, I think it was approximately 15 to 16 CNC machines with the same amount of operators, and he started automating, and that he said that was the only reason why my factory is still open. Not only open, I'm now cheaper than the Eastern Europeans, so I'm more competitive, and all his personnel could stay because the factory is still open, and he also was able to produce lights out, so making him a very, very solid supplier in the market.
I can't get a better example than that, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of touched all the potential pain points. Now, Rik, I believe that you're going to be opening up a new tech centre soon. Can you tell our listeners about this tech centre?
Yeah, maybe you know that Halter CNC is a Dutch-based company, but we manufacture our systems in Germany. So we're made in Germany products. Right across the border in Issem near Düsseldorf. And we moved because our jacket was getting really, really tight. So we moved to a much bigger factory, and we will also open up a new tech center, demo center, I think middle of May. So we call it the workshop week. So we'll invite, of course, every company that's interested to have a personalized workshop that day. We'll wholeheartedly invite him.
Brilliant. Would be good to go.
Looking forward to an invite there, Rick. no, that wasn't a legal statement. But just very quick, you're known here in the UK, in Europe, but you are a global phenomenon.
Oh, we are, yeah. Just installed 2 more systems in New Zealand. So we're really from Alaska to New Zealand, South America, the US. Wow. So every continent we are now available. Yeah.
And Marcus, how can people get in touch with you that are interested in this solution?
I mean, get in touch via the website, via any of our social media channels. I mean, give me a call and I'll do whatever I can to help.
And get a solution that's cost effective. 18 months return on investment. I was listening to all this.
At least less. Did you say from 5 months to?
Yeah, we did a little survey, and it was 90% of our clients had an 18-month return on investment or less. So most of them were less.
Wow.
Yeah. So
impressive.
Yeah.
So there you have it. A great kind of story from Halter CNC Automation and First MTA that are now exclusive UK sole agents of this product. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please give us any feedback that you may have. But guys, until next week, the MTD Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the MTD Podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.